last video, we talked about how you can go about sourcing the parts you're going to need to work with, and in this video, we're going to start the process of getting those parts to be a little bit more hospitable to the project at hand. In particular, we have these legs, which need to have that gun holster sanded off, and then we have this crotch, which is a little bit too adorned. There's too many things on it that need to be smoothed out. Right here along the belt, this is silly. This side piece is also very silly. So we're gonna have a look at those. Everything else is pretty much good to go. Since this wasn't a full G.I. Joe, we didn't have to take it all the way apart. When you are taking apart a G.I. Joe, on the back here, they have a little place where you put a screw in that holds it together. You take that out and then you'll be able to pull this part and pull the ring out and everything. I'll do a whole video with that. But first thing that we're gonna need is, of course, our trusty screwdriver from Radio Shack. Still in business, I swear. Just select the correct size there. So important to have the right size. And take out our screws from the legs. I like to have my trusty shot glass here for all of the parts to keep them together for later. In fact, all these parts we're not using are all going into the shot glass. So we're gonna go ahead and take apart these legs. So we took out the screws, and so now we're just going to be pulling apart. When you deal with these, they have this very fragile little peg in there. We're just going to be very careful, pull them while we twist. Nice and safe. The things that we're going to be sanding here are going to be the parts for the gun holster on the legs, which is, of course, this part. So everything else gets to go in the cup for later, for when it gets primed. And this shirt is gonna have its own thing later. It's just these pieces that we're gonna need to sand. A clean workspace is a happy workspace. These parts are made of plastic, elderly plastic. They might not be the safest thing in the world to breathe in. In fact, when you're sanding anything, it's probably not super safe to breathe it in. Also, this stuff will fly off and into your eyes. So, you're gonna wanna take care of some basic safety things here. So we have, of course, cheap glasses. These are safety glasses, safety goggles. You can get them at your local hardware store. I believe I got these at Ace. So yes, very nice. Not going to become blinded. That's a good time. And then we also have our breathing apparatus. Yours doesn't have to be this fancy. You could always get one of those like ones that just goes over your mouth, like you're trying not to get plague. Whoa.
I use a Dremel. It is way faster than doing it by hand. They're super handy. You can have all sorts of different attachments for the head. I'm just using a sanding attachment here. And voila! Fast sanding. I keep it on the lowest setting because I want it to be controlled. If you put it on the highest setting, first of all, who needs fingertips? And secondly, you could sand too much, and that's no bueno, no good. As I'm sanding this crotch piece, it has some parts that are too small for the Dremel to get into. So I tried some hand tools. That was taking forever not working. So I just used my teeny tiny diamond drill bit things that I have for the Dremel, which helped me to get into those hard to reach places. Like this. Perfect.
All right, so that is done. We have all of our sanding done for this project. Usually there's a lot more sanding to do, but this time we don't have very much because we picked our parts very wisely. The more sanding you do, really, the more repair work you're gonna have to do, because as you notice in our sand of the legs, we now have a big gaping hole because they probably sort of slush cast that. So we're gonna have to fill that in with epoxy sculpt or with some sort of plastic, and then it's gonna have to be sanded again. So again, the sanding is like the part you want to do the very least, because it's gonna be the part that requires the most repair and the most time to make it right again. So don't do it if you can avoid it. Try to find parts that work, but obviously you're just gonna have to do it sometimes. So that's been the sanding video. Hope to see you guys back for our next video on molding and casting. We're gonna be making a hat and a pocket. Thank you for hanging out with us in the workshop, and thanks as always for playing with us. See you next time. Bye.